If you guys are in need of any grinding services, hit up my guy Rose NBA on Twitter. From domination to getting you guys a 95 plus overall hidden gem, he does it all. What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over this squad that I would run if I did play in King of the Court today in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, a lot of you guys know I'm not playing in King of the Court. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm busy. Number two, I just feel like right now King of the Court is not rewarding whatsoever. I mean, sure, if you win it, you get what, a Galaxy Opal, and then a random Galaxy Opal, and then you get what, you know, a million VC. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, that is not worth playing at this stage of my team. It's just not. So hopefully you guys understand that. But in this video, we'll be building a squad that I would be running today if I were to play in King of the Court. So that's where we're at. That's what to know. As you do dive into it, please smash that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. At the point guard position, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'd run SGA. I think he is my best point guard in the game, and one of the top 3 or 4 point guards in the game. Obviously, there's Zach LaVine, there's Devin Booker. I think Shai is as good as nearly anybody else in this game, and definitely is a card that I'm comfortable with. Is definitely a card that I think can play and compete at the highest level. So if you're not, if you don't like Shai or if you don't have Shai, it's fine. But trust me, if you have Shai, you do like the card in my team. Now, the shooting guard position, it could go 2 different ways, honestly, or honestly 3 different ways. I feel like because I've got the card, I've got to run him, but I don't love George Gervin. I'm going to plug him in because, like I said, I feel like since I have the Galaxy Opal George Gervin, I simply have to run him. However, I don't love the card. I do not think George Gervin is like a perfect card in my team. He's a fine card. You can use him and have fun with him. But at the end of the day, it's not like he's perfect. He's going to play some defense. He dunks the ball decently well. He green shots when he gets open. But the bad part is his release is somewhat slow, somewhat baited. I don't love George Gervin. But the sad part is I got him as a hidden gem, so I feel like I literally have to run the card. I don't want to run him, but I feel like I have to. Next up, small forward position. I'm plugging in Rui Hachimura, guys. I think he is so complete at that small forward position, and I can look up his price right now. The card is not super expensive in my team. Now, I don't know exactly what the card goes for. Is he a buyout? I think he is, right? No, he's just over 100,000 coins at the time I'm recording this video. But, I mean, that's not bad for Rui Hachimura, who can green shots. He plays great defense. He's got a decent player build. Sure, his release might be on the slow side of things, but it's fine. He greens a ton of shots for you guys on the court. And like I said, is just a solid small forward. Would I like to have LeBron James? Absolutely. I would love to be plugging in LeBron James here, but that's just not simply the case. That's not something I can do. LeBron is way too expensive. So Rui, you can hold it down for what I need for less than 100,000 coins. Power forward position, Paolo Banchero. No real questions asked. This card is still the power forward for my future. I badged him up, gave him, I think mine's got what, 23 Hall of Fame or something like that. And if your Paolo is like souped or even all the way badged with gold badges, there's literally no need to ever replace the card. And I hope you guys hear what I'm telling you, because Paolo is that good. He's got a good release. He's got a good and wide player build. He's gonna green shots. He's gonna play good defense. There's just no flaws whatsoever in Paolo Banchero. And so if you're not running him, I don't know what to tell you, because the card is an absolute beast on this game, and he's not insanely overpriced. And so those couple of things are really why I like Paolo. I think, that combination is super important for a guy like Paolo to have. So for me, he is my starting power forward. At the starting center position, this is a card that might never change. It's Diamond Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, yes, I'm over-exaggerating. Eventually, Jaren might become outdated, something like that, but that's not going to be for a while. Jaren right now still is an absolute beast on this game, and definitely a card I feel like I've got to plug into my lineup. Jaren obviously has went down a little in price. He's somewhat affordable. But the best part about Jaren is his ability to knock down shots. He plays good defense. He's going to knock down shots with the best of them. Jaren, an absolute beast for, not super expensive. Again, Jaren, Paolo, those are 2 guys that I've spent a lot of my MT on. Jack Sigma is probably going to be the third. Sorry to ruin it, spoil it for anybody out there. That's probably going to be the third guy that I would recommend. Maybe you guys spend it on. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the, 2 cards, or the 3 cards that I've really spent my MT on, or that I'd recommend you guys spending it on. Paolo, Jaren, and then my future backup center. At my bench, for my bench unit, I should say, Galaxy Opal Chris Paul still would play for me. I do, look, here's the situation with Chris Paul. I love Chris Paul. I think he's an absolute beast. He is undersized, though, and it does matter. It does impact the card, like the fact that he is super, super, super small. Sometimes can get mashed, all those types of things. However, with all that being said, I still like Chris Paul. I still think Chris Paul is a card that you guys can pick up for your squad and can compete at an extremely, extremely, extremely high level. So you're not going to hear me slander Chris Paul's name. I really like the card. I think the card is an absolute stud. Even the Diamond Chris Paul is a card that I think is an absolute beast on this game right now. And so even Diamond Chris Paul, if you've got him, you absolutely could run him in King of the Court because he can play and compete at the very highest level. So you're never going to hear me slander Chris Paul. He's got a great release, plays good defense. To me, my backup point guard is not really concerning. At my backup shooting guard, I'm plugging in Jack Marin. Now, I do want to say this with Jack Marin. His time is ticking. Like, the time that Jack Marin's going to be my star, just play for me, is honestly coming to an end. I can't keep running him out there when he is a little bit undersized, and I don't know how much defense the card truly is going to play on the court. So for me, that's kind of how I feel about Jack Sigma. The card obviously is solid, but at the end of the day, there are cards that are going to play better defense than him, and offensively, he's fine, but he's just not great. So for me, Jack Marin still plays, but the card's not perfect. Card I really like that I would play is Diamond Danny Green. You can play him at small forward, you can play him at shooting guard, it doesn't matter. Here's why I like Danny Green. He comes with 8 Hall of Famers: Deadeye, Limitless, Slippery, Challenger, Off-Ball Pest Glove, Set Shot, and On-Ball Menace. He's taking my Tobias Harris role, because when I've used Tobias Harris in this game, it's not like Tobias Harris did a ton for me. Honestly, like, he was fine, but really he was a 3-and-D type guy. And honestly, Danny Green can do that at a higher level than a guy like Tobias Harris. So that's my, solution for you guys if you're struggling at the shooting guard small forward position. I genuinely just say get Danny Green and forget the rest. Danny Green is an absolute stud on this game. And if you can find one, that is fully batched, that's just going to make him only better. So I really do like Danny Green. I do think he's a card that can compete at an extremely high level. And he's going to be a card that probably plays for a long time. Has the same type of release as Tobias Harris. And again, defensively is off the charts good. So if you've not got the chance to use Danny Green, he's a card I'd recommend at least trying out. Try him, see if you like the card, because for me, when I used Danny Green, I thought to myself, there's no way there's going to be that many better shooting guard small forwards in the entire game. Danny Green is that elite level at the shooting guard small forward position. Good release, good fade, great defense. To me, it does not get much better than this card, and he is a card that probably for me will play for a long time, because even if I have to move him to the 2 guard, that's fine. Like, he's better than Jack Marin side by side, so I'd even be fine with doing that. At my backup power forward, we're plugging in Terry Cummings. I still love Terry Cummings to this day. Now, I will say this about Terry Cummings. His release saves this card because he's only 6'9". His stats are not that good. Without Terry Cummings' release, he would not play for me. But he's got a great release. He's got good speed. Defensively, he is solid enough to play. So I feel like I've got to plug in the card. Now, he is a rare diamond hidden gem that plays for me. Not very many diamond hidden gems at this point of my team would play for me. Terry Cummings is the exception. Obviously, he's free. That helps things out, but the card is extremely good in my team. And at the backup center position, I'm plugging in Diamond Jack Sigma. Now, Diamond Jack Sigma, in my opinion, gives you 99% of what the pink diamond centers give you in the game. You guys can disagree. If you really like Hakeem, obviously, Joel Embiid, you can disagree with me. But I really like what Jack Sigma can provide on the floor. Now, with all of that being said, I still think, there is a way in which Pink Diamond Wemby could still be worth getting for myself eventually. It's not going to be now, but maybe eventually he could find a way to be worth it for my specific squad. Because I think I like Wemby. It just comes down to, for his price, it's hard to justify. So those couple of things are kind of how I think of it. I think Jack Sigma for his value is extremely good. I think it's tough to pass up on the card for his specific value as well. And so that's where I'm at with Jack Sigma when it comes down to comparing him to some of these other bigs. It's like Jack Sigma to me is a super complete big in the game. He's 6'11". He's going to knock down shots at an incredibly high rate. And look, he's going to play solid defense. So for me, I do like Jack Sigma. So the new additions, you got Rui Hachimura, you got Danny Green, and you've got Jack Sigma. You will notice no Tracy McGrady in the lineup, no Tobias Harris in the lineup. These are cards that I still don't hate, and you could plug in T-Mac over a guy like Gervin, or maybe I run Danny Green at the starting 2, pick up a bench power forward, something like that. But again, if I want to not spend a lot of my MT, it's kind of hard to do that balling on a budget. But this is the squad that if I were to play in King of the Court today, that I would go out there with. That's going to wrap it up for our video. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.